like the hat?
Oh, bother. Oh, bother. Carbonara, that's...
I thought you might like to see our light menu.
Oh, thank you. Oh, bother. We Americans love food a lot, which may explain why so many of us are starting to push maximum density. To combat this, we go on diets. I hate diets. I hate them a lot. What we need are strategies for getting flavor into our food without, having to unwrap a stick of butter. Not that there's anything wrong with a stick of butter, but you get the point. I nominate herbs. They're fat-free, almost calorie-free. They're tasty, aromatic, pretty, cheap, easy to grow, and they can elevate just about any dish they touch. Of course, there's more to herbally infusing your cuisine than just dropping these things on a plate or in a pot. So stick around as we get to the essence of all things herbal here on... If the leaf of a plant contains essential oils that can be used to add flavor and or aroma to a food, we call that leaf an herb. If the essential oils come from other botanical parts, say bark or roots, pods, berries, seeds, and the like, that is spice, okay? Now, I like spices. I like them a lot. In fact, they're a whole other show. But herbs have a few distinct advantages. I mean, for one thing, spices grow over there, way over there, like on the other side of the planet, most of them at least. Whereas herbs, well, heck, in this country at least, anybody willing to shovel a little dirt into a pot can grow their own herbs. Maybe not on, this scale exactly, but enough to keep yourself into some fresh goodness all throughout the warm months. Another thing about herbs is that you can use them in either a fresh or dry state. You can't do that with spices. Spices generally have to be dried. Now, there are probably maybe even 300 different types of culinary herbs grown around the world. But here in America, I really think we need to know how to handle the Big Ten. What are they? Well, let's start right here. Although all members of the onion family are technically herbs, only chives count in my book. The secret to their use? Snip them with scissors. Never cut them with knives. Too much bruising. They get along especially well with white foods, potatoes, pasta, eggs, and white fish. Ah, nothing smells like spring like chives. Like its cousins basil and thyme, mint comes in a plethora of different flavors. For instance, chocolate mint, peppermint, apple mint, spearmint, like this. It is unique in the herb world in that it plays equally well in savory and sweet applications. For instance, tabbouleh salad and mint chip ice cream. Yum. And here we have my favorite, thyme. Now this is common thyme. And it's a very subtle, flexible herb, despite the fact that the tiny leaves can be a beast to harvest. Excellent with meat and seafood. It's a classic bouquet garni participant and excellent in citrus-based desserts as well. Who among us can say that at some point in our lives we have not opened the crisper drawer to find that our fresh herbs had decomposed into a primordial ooze capable of supporting the life of something that looks like this? I, for one, admit that it has happened to me, but it won't happen again. Why? Because I know how to properly store my herbs. Here's how. The goal, supply moisture, but not too much air. We have here a long roll of paper towels. We will spritz that with just a little bit of water, not too much. Then lay on the herbs. You can do as many different types as you like. I've got dill and oregano and basil here. And then very lightly roll it up. If you remember our lettuce show, you remember procedure a lot like this. This one's a little bit different. Now, of course, this will dry out really quickly in the refrigerator, and of course, too much air, too much decomposition. It's a bad thing. So we will add some plastic wrap to the party. And this we'll just fold over this way and this way to make an airtight seal. This bundle goes straight into the refrigerator, but not where you think. The crisper drawer may be a dandy place for stashing heartier produce, but it is way too cold down here for herbs. I have a much better luck with these guys up on the very, very top shelf. Now, if you're looking for long-term storage solutions for notorious wilters like tarragon, chervil, and cilantro, take your cue from florists. Just cut the end off of the bunch, put it down in an inch of water, and just any plastic container that's got an airtight lid. This you can just keep stashed in the door. I've managed to keep cilantro for up to a week. Now, when it comes to getting the flavor of fresh herbs into food, you basically have two ways to go. The first is infusion, and this is a method that can be used for any food that cooks inside a water-based liquid environment. And to do it, the French use something called a bouquet garni. You probably remember Ken from an earlier episode. This is a bouquet garni. It's basically just a tied-up, let go, Ken, a little bundle of herbs tied up with a string. This is cute, but it's really not the best way to go because there's not much opportunity for water flow around this. And, of course, you can only include things that you can actually tie up with a piece of string. Not so when you're using a tea or herb ball, which come in all different shapes and sizes. And the other benefit to this is that you can include things like peppercorns and garlic, which is very nice indeed. So just close up all of your bouquet garni items there, and we'll clip that stem off because we don't really need that anymore. There we go. Seal it, and then just drop this right into the pot with a chicken that we have poaching here. We're just starting. I'm going to hook this around to keep that captured. Now, it's pretty important when dealing with an infusion like this that you get the herbs in while the water is still cold or cool. If we put this in during the very end of cooking, it's not going to have any time to extract any flavor out. So, if herbs are going to go in and come out later, put them in early. That sounds like a good rule. Dill, a.k.a. dill weed, is actually a member of the carrot family. And I think of it as a very sneaky herb because it's so often confused with fennel, which it tastes nothing like. Although it was first cultivated in India, it has been most embraced by the Scandinavians, probably because it goes so well with beets and potatoes, especially when served cold. Rosemary, which may be the most identifiable herb flavor in America, comes from an evergreen shrub of Mediterranean origin. It can grow up to 15 feet in height if left untrimmed. In fact, a lot of landscape architects will use it as a natural deer barrier. Turns out deer just hate this stuff. They won't walk through it and they won't eat it, probably because it tastes so good with them. I never make pizza or spaghetti sauce without true or Greek oregano. It also works and plays well with eggplant, chicken, and red meat. Mexican oregano, by the way, is a member of the verbena family. The easiest way to get herbal goodness into food is, of course, to simply put the herbs in the food and leave them there. This is best done at or near the end of cooking, or even at the table once the cooking is over with. The challenge comes down to the fact that we've got to do some slicing and dicing here, and that can be a problem because if you over-hack on herbs, they basically turn into a puddle of brown, gooey, green stuff. Not good eats. Now, plenty of technologies have been developed to help us around this problem, but they usually range from ridiculous to medieval to just plain crazy. And look at this. This is like mowing the lawn inside the house. Some people even attempt to take a perfectly good tool like this pizza cutter and use it for cutting herbs. And that just makes a good tool look bad. Nope. As far as I'm concerned, there's one tool for disassembling herbs, and it's a good old-fashioned chef's knife. Now, I prefer something in the 8-inch range, but anything from 6 to 10 will definitely do the job. Now, there are two approaches for cutting up herbs, and they depend on the size and shape of the leaf. Large uniform leaves like basil can be cut into razor-thin strips called chiffonade, which is French for razor-thin strips. Just stack the leaves on top of each other, say 8 to 10, then roll them up tight and lay them on the board seam side down. Then slice through them, not straight down. Down bruises across does not. This is a great cut for making last-minute herbal additions to salads, pizzas, heck, even dessert. Of course, not every herb can be easily stacked and rolled. So for things like tarragon, chervil, cilantro, and parsley, try this. Start by gathering the leaves between your fingers so you've got more leaf than stem. Then lay them on the board and again slice across, not down. When you're done, you'll have a uniform large chop. For a fine chop, spread them out and then rock the blade back and forth through the herbs as few times as possible. If you spread them each time, 3 passes should do the trick. Now that's more like it. Of course, if you were to add some minced garlic to that, you'd have what the French call persillade. And if you were to add citrus to that, you'd have what the Italians call gremolata, either of which make very nice last-minute additions to sauté dishes as well as soups and sauces. Fascinating. Did you know that before science types learned how to synthesize chemical compounds, most drugs were derived from plants? Yep, even seems that most of the herbs that we cook with were originally cultivated for their medicinal values. Wow. Good morning. What can I do for you, ma'am? Oh, an inhaler. Wow, these things are expensive, aren't they? You know, the Big Herb Book of 1525 says that rosemary will take care of your asthma, and it will rid you of bad dreams and your teeth of worms. Just in case that's a problem. Bob